The Secret Spark of Fantasy Island. In the heart of the kingdom of Fantasy Island, where the clouds taste like lemon sorbet and the trees whisper riddles, lived a boy named Leo. Leo was famous for his extra ideas. While other children were learning to bake square bread, Leo was busy trying to bake a loaf that could hop like a frog. He sat at his wooden desk, surrounded by jars of glowing stardust and rolls of blueprints for his next big prank. Everyone in Fantasy Island loved the order of things. The waterfalls always fell down, the sun always set at 6, and the grass was always exactly 2 inches tall. But Leo found the always very boring. He tucked a slingshot made of rainbow vines into his pocket and crept out of his window. He had a plan to make the royal parade much more interesting than usual. The royal parade was about to begin. The grand fountain was supposed to spray crystal clear water high into the air. Leo hid behind a large purple mushroom near the fountain's base. He held a small bag of whiz-wor powder he had invented. With a quick flick of his wrist, he tossed the powder into the fountain's intake pipe and waited for the magic to happen. Instead of water, the fountain erupted into millions of giant, bouncy bubbles. The bubbles smelled like peppermint and floated everywhere. One particularly large bubble landed right on the head of Bram, the chief of guards. Bram tried to look stern, but it is very hard to look scary when you have a wobbling peppermint bubble for a hat. He pointed a finger at Leo, who was giggling uncontrollably. Leo knew he was in trouble, so he dashed toward the whispering woods. He ran past the singing ferns and the tickling moss until he reached the great ironbark tree. To his surprise, a door he had never seen before stood slightly ajar at the base of the trunk. It was shaped like a giant keyhole and pulsed with a soft, golden light. Inside the tree, Leo found a spiraling staircase made of light. At the bottom, he met a tiny, glowing bird named Pip. Pip didn't chirp. He spoke in a voice that sounded like tinkling bells. "You're the mischief maker," Pip said, hovering in front of Leo's nose. "We've been waiting for someone with enough extra ideas to find this place." Pip flew deeper into the chamber, leading Leo to a massive machine. It looked like a giant clock, but its gears were rusty and stopped. The air here felt heavy and gray, unlike the bright world above. "This is the heart of Fantasy Island," Pip explained, landing on a cold iron lever. "It is powered by wonder, but the people above have become too orderly, and the machine is dying." An old man named Elden stepped out from behind a gear. He wore a cloak made of autumn leaves and held a staff that hummed. "The hidden truth, Leo, is that Fantasy Island isn't powered by magic," Elden said. "It is powered by the unexpected. Your pranks and your bubbles aren't just mischief, they are the fuel that keeps our world afloat. Without the extra ideas, the island will sink into the gray sea." Leo realized he wasn't a troublemaker. He was a spark keeper. He didn't have his tools, but he had his imagination. He began to dance and juggle the glowing stones from the floor, tossing them into the gears while whistling a tune that went backward. As he did something completely unpredictable, a bright spark flew from his fingertips and hit the central gear. The machine roared to life, spinning and glowing with every color imaginable. Above ground, the clouds turned into rainbows, and the grass started to dance. Pip landed on Leo's shoulder as they watched the heart of the island pulse with new energy. Leo knew he would still get into trouble for his bubbles, but he also knew that as long as he kept being mischievous, Fantasy Island would never stop dreaming.